Even license, now!
Why am I being stopped?
Don't argue! Show me your ID!
I'm with federal immigration. You don't have authority here.
I don't care! You're in my jurisdiction!
You're overstepping. Step back.
Out of the car! Now!
This encounter lasts only a few minutes, but everything that matters happens in the first 15 seconds. Not because of a crime, not because of a threat, but because one officer decided control mattered more than understanding. What you're watching is a body camera encounter where a local police officer confronts a man during a routine stop. The man is calm, seated, speaking clearly. And yet, from the very beginning, the officer approaches with intensity instead of explanation. That choice matters, because in policing, tone is not cosmetic. Tone is the difference between cooperation and conflict. The officer opens with a command. No greeting, no reason for the stop, just a demand. From the officer's perspective, this may feel like standard procedure. Command presence is taught. Control is emphasized. But here's the problem. Control without communication creates confusion, and confusion is where fear begins. Now look at the person inside the car. He doesn't move suddenly. His hands stay where they can be seen. He asks a question. That's not resistance, that's clarification. And this is where many encounters quietly derail. Because instead of answering the question, the officer treats it as defiance. The volume goes up. This is an important moment. Nothing illegal has happened. No refusal, no threat. But the officer escalates anyway. Now listen to the accusation. It's vague, it's unsupported, and it places the person into a category without evidence. This is dangerous behavior. Not because accusations are illegal, but because they justify escalation in the officer's mind before facts are established. From the person's perspective, this is alarming. You're sitting in your car, you're being shouted at, you're being accused, and you still haven't been told why you were stopped. The person responds firmly, but not violently. He asserts who he is. And here's where jurisdiction becomes critical. Immigration authority and local police authority are not the same thing. They operate under different rules, different scopes, different responsibilities. The person explains this, not aggressively, not threatening, but clearly. And this is the moment where the encounter should slow down. Verification should happen here. That's procedure. But instead, the officer doubles down. This tells us something important. The officer is no longer focused on resolving the situation. He's focused on maintaining dominance. The officer claims jurisdiction, but jurisdiction doesn't mean unlimited authority. Local police do not automatically have power over federal immigration officials performing lawful duties. And when those lines blur, mistakes happen. Big ones. Now watch the body cam closely. The officer closes distance. The camera shakes. This is physical escalation. Not because the person moved, but because the officer did. That matters, because physical dominance is often used when verbal control fails. The person pushes back verbally again, not insulting, not threatening, just firm. From the outside, this looks like a power struggle, but from the person's side, this is self-protection, because when authority stops listening, silence becomes dangerous. The command to exit the vehicle comes next. This is a major escalation. Exit orders are not neutral. They change the encounter, and issuing them while emotions are high increases risk for everyone involved. The person hesitates. This hesitation is not resistance, it's fear, and fear is rational here. You are being shouted at by someone with legal authority and a weapon. You don't know what the next 30 seconds will look like. The officer interprets that hesitation as resistance. This is another common failure point. Hesitation is not refusal, but it's often treated that way. Now let's talk about what the officer could have done differently. He could have stepped back. He could have verified credentials. He could have called a supervisor. All of those options were available. Instead, he escalated. And escalation always looks bad on camera. Because cameras remove imagination. They don't care how justified someone felt in the moment. They record what happened. Eventually, verification begins, and notice what happens immediately. The tone changes, the posture changes, distance increases. This is one of the most revealing moments in body cam footage, because nothing about the situation changed, except the officer's understanding of who he was dealing with. That contrast tells us everything. If professionalism appears only after power is challenged, then professionalism was never the priority. The person remains calm. He doesn't gloat. He doesn't threaten consequences. He doesn't need to. The camera already captured the escalation. This is why body cameras matter. Not to attack police, not to defend police blindly, but to show behavior in context. This encounter didn't escalate because the person broke the law. It escalated because the officer reacted emotionally to being questioned. That doesn't make the officer evil, but it does make the behavior unacceptable. And the reason we can say that confidently is because the footage is clear. Later, reports may soften language. Words like argumentative may appear. But the video shows something else. A person asking questions, an officer refusing to answer them, and authority replacing explanation. This is not about immigration politics. This is about procedure. It's about knowing your limits. It's about understanding that authority has boundaries, and it's about recognizing when those boundaries are crossed. The person did what many people are told to do. Stay seated, keep hands visible, speak calmly. And it still wasn't enough. That's the part that resonates with viewers. Because people watch this and think, if this can happen here, it can happen to anyone. That's why these videos go viral. Not because of chaos, but because of recognition. In the end, the encounter resolves quietly. No arrest, no charges, no justification for the aggression. Just a patrol car pulling away and a body cam full of evidence. Evidence not of a crime, but of a decision. A decision to escalate instead of listen. A decision to assert power instead of verify facts. And a decision that will now be watched, analyzed, and remembered. Because when authority ignores limits, the camera doesn't. And when local power clashes with federal responsibility, the truth doesn't belong to either side. It belongs to the footage.